Welcome into the Christian Men's Illustrated podcast. We got Greg Walden, Jake Waters in the house. Hey, we just posted on YouTube, on Spotify. We had a special edition podcast with My Story with Rob and Beth Vaughn. Yep. And I want to get it's My Story with Rob and Beth Vaughn. So if you guys haven't checked that out, go to the YouTube channel or the podcast, listen to that interview. Great people. Rob Vaughn had a ministry called Christian Wrestling Federation for 25 years. And then his wife is a teacher, communicator, and now they have this new ministry called My Story with Rob and Beth that features testimonies from people. So it's really fun to hear because God's good. God's constantly. We always talk about that, right? We hear the bad stories, or even as a pastor, a lot of times, like I get more requests than I get praise reports, if you'd call them, right? So right. Sometimes we forget to report what God is doing, and so I appreciate that. That's kind of the thesis or the summation of the whole show, is just talking about amazing stories and how God has been moving in the lives of people. So those stories that definitely need to be told. So
that's cool.
Amen. Well, it is Super Bowl week, guys. What's going to happen here? We got the Kansas City Chiefs going for the three-peat versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This will be an interesting one. Who we want to go? You want to bounce over to you first, Jake Waters? What do you guys say about it?
Go Birds.
The Birds? Yes. Yep. You're in the Red Kingdom. You exist in Southwest Missouri, and you go one of two ways. You move to a different team, or you embrace where you're at. So
the Chiefs are good,
and it's a kingdom. It's a Red Kingdom, so you either have to follow the king or not. So no options there. It's not a democracy here.
No.
So Philadelphia, you're rolling with Philadelphia.
I think the Chiefs are going to win.
You think the Chiefs are going to win, though?
Yeah.
But you're going to root for Philadelphia?
Yeah, I want Philly to win. I want someone. I mean, the Chiefs are really, really good, but I would I think if the Commanders would have made it and won the Super Bowl, I love underdog stories like that. So I think make room for someone else.
I'm so disappointed the Vikings just completely fell apart at the end of the season. They're looking like these gamers. They're legit. So my official prediction that I'm going to give is 29-26. That's what I'm looking at right now. So 29-26.
The 3-point difference.
Yeah, 3-point difference with the Chiefs getting the three-peat. Confetti's going to fly all over the place. Kelsey's going to get on his knees. He's going to ask Taylor to marry her. She's going to say yes. It's going to be a beautiful moment.
Well, there's rumors that Taylor actually may perform in the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, interesting. Ooh. Okay.
I'm going to say 31-24 Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 23-20.
Okay.
Chiefs.
My son's 31-27. I think it's going to be under 6 points. Either way, it's going to be under 6 points.
Close, yeah.
It's going to be close. My son has pressed me. He's like, it's hilarious. My wife is totally anti-sports. My son Hezekiah is so all in. It's great. And he's like, Dad, you keep saying 6 points. It's going to be 6 points or less. But I need to know your official prediction. So I was like, fine, man, 29-26. I'm going with, and I think it's going to be ugly. Yeah. I think there's going to be a questionable call or two that people that are anti-Chiefs fans are going to be like, oh, my goodness, it's conspiracy, blah, blah, blah.
And then we got the most hated play of all time, the tush push. I hate that play with a passion.
Let's get rid of that.
I can't stand that play.
I haven't been a fan of the tush push. Definitely needs to go. And I think they are going to continue to look at it or talk about it. But then also, what do you guys think of the kickoff this year, a full year now with the new kickoff? I don't like it, but I think they're going to keep it. I don't think they'll get rid of it.
It's all right. It doesn't really bother me.
I don't know. I don't know. Don't really have an opinion of it.
A lot of people like it. I think it just looks weird. To me, it just looks weird. That's why I don't like it. I just can't get used to it.
The one thing I didn't like at the start of the season is illegal formation. They just kept picking on everybody, right off the get-go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now it seems like they've laxed off of it. So I wish they would just kind of, if it's obvious, then call it. But hopefully they don't go back to that.
So you're predicting Chiefs to win?
Yep.
What's your score?
31-24.
31-24. So shellacking.
Yep.
We should write this. We should write this down and kind of stuff for next.
Yeah, I got a pen in my hand, but I don't have the.
Eagles might just self-destruct.
Well, man, they dominated the Washington during the NFC Championship. Washington just fell apart.
And now I would be really happy if I was wrong. And but Saquon Barkley is really, really good.
Yeah, that's going to be their Chiefs thing. The Chiefs' biggest concern.
So they're going to attack that. They know that going in. And then the Chiefs just have a lot of different weapons. You know what I mean? Hunt, Worthy, Checo.
Yeah.
All right, where are you at there, Greg Walden?
I'm going to say well, I don't. Because the problem is my reverse psychology works too good. If I say Chiefs, then I want the Chiefs to win, but I guess
we're doing the same thing. The reverse psychology.
I'm trying to do it. Okay, somebody was. So I'm gonna say Chiefs 23, Eagles 20.
Okay, it's going to be a lit game either way. It's going to be good.
I just don't. One thing I can't. It'll be interesting. Can they stop Saquon because he's just a beast? Can they stop him?
Actually, the Chiefs actually do have a record of stopping good running backs.
Okay,
I mean, look, Derrick Henry. They did pretty. I mean, I think the Chiefs' biggest threat will be the quarterback running.
Yeah.
That's what will get them the most.
Right. Hurts is kind of hurt right now, though, a little bit.
And that's why I think the Chiefs are going to win. Because Pat Mahomes is going to just have one or two of those wacky runs. He'll pitch it or something, at the last minute and do something crazy. Yeah. Maybe this is the moment. The behind the back pass he'll unleash that.
Dude, it might totally go down.
In real life, in a real mattering game. Okay, so that's the Super Bowl. Tell us what your predictions are. Leave us a comment there below what you guys think. It will be interesting. It's sad, kind of sad. The NFL is coming to an end here. So I did check. I have it in front of me here, NFL. But the Pro Bowl was yesterday. That the Pro Bowl flag football game.
Yeah,
the NFC won 76-63.
What was the score?
76-63.
Okay.
So like the NBA, the All-Star weekend, Pro Bowl weekend is just becoming a joke.
Yeah,
a disaster for both leagues.
Did you see they had Drake May on there?
They didn't. Yeah. They just need to get rid of it. They need to get rid of it. The Pro Bowl weekend, just say who's Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
NBA All-Star weekend, just say who's an All-Star and get rid of it because it is really becoming quite distasteful.
Just call it football games.
Now, did I hear they played some clips from the Three Stooges during the Pro Bowl halftime show?
No, but I believe it.
Whoop.
Yeah. Another in sports news, Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks gets traded to the LA Lakers.
Yep.
Anthony Davis is shipped out, and I'm telling you, this took the NBA world by storm.
It's still showing up on my phone, like alert after alert, ESPN, Now, I have been actually getting into NBA here recently, so I'm kind of like relearning all these different players, and Rachel's not happy about it, but I'm like super into it, but I think they'll do good.
Now LeBron's with LA. LeBron's with LA, right?
Yep.
He's with LA, so they were kind of interested though because LeBron is usually kind of in control. He's under a management group or his agency called Clutch Sports. It doesn't sound like he got advised as to this was happening, nor Luka. So really, really out of the blue trade. Like usually what happens in NFL, NBA, you have all these insiders now, right? Okay. And you can, where there's smoke, there's fire. It usually gets leaked, right? That is what happens. And this did not get leaked whatsoever. So a lot of the experts are like, man, how did they keep this so close to the chest without anyone leaking some type of information?
Yeah, because that's a huge deal.
Right. So Luka Doncic is 25 going on 26 years old, so he's stepping into his prime, and maybe he'll take the LA Lakers into the future. I guess that's the game plan. So
how old is LeBron? Story. Like 40 or something?
41, going on 42.
So he's getting close.
What's the oldest basketball player known in the NBA?
I think it was Robert Parrish.
How old
Robert Parrish or Vince Carter. Robert Parrish was 45. I can look it up real quick.
Okay, so that would be his maximum. Well, another 4 years.
But
if he decided to hang in.
But if LeBron's still in prime, if he's still in good shape, man, he could go.
Those checks. The oldest player ever to play in the NBA was Nat Hickey, who played one game in the 1947-48 season when he was 45 years old and 363 days old.
Interesting.
Tom Brady-ish there.
Yeah.
Now, did Boston win the Philadelphia game yesterday?
I don't know.
They actually came back. They were down like 30 points, and they came back and got the lead.
Dang.
Okay.
It was like 2 minutes of the game. I don't know if they won it or not, but
all right,
that was interesting.
So there's some NBA, NFL news, and then WWE Royal Rumble was Saturday night. Ooh. I was busy doing a conference, and Rob Vaughn does pro wrestling, and I mentioned the Royal Rumble, and then sure enough, I forgot it was that night. So I get home and I'm just checking I'm actually uploading videos, and all of a sudden I'm just checking some of my sports pages, and I see, look, wait, the Royal Rumble was tonight. And so I'm not, for appropriateness, I don't watch a lot of women's pro wrestling, but I do say that I am a fan of Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair's daughter.
Okay, she
won the Royal Rumble.
Oh, really?
So coming off an injury, she comes back, she wins the Royal Rumble, and then Jey Uso wins the men's Royal Rumble 2025. So what happens in the Royal Rumble is if you win the Rumble, then you automatically get to go to WrestleMania, and you get to pick which champion you want to face.
Okay.
So that's why it's such a big deal.
My favorite wrestler of all time won the first Royal Rumble.
Okay, which is?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, Duggan won the Royal Rumble?
First one, yep.
Okay,
First
I did
one.
not know that.
Yep.
Okay, there you go. So anyway, so that was the Royal Rumble. I won't go too off there, but it was a huge event. A lot of people. John Cena, he's on his farewell tour, so he's retiring at the end of this year. So Cena was in the last 4. Logan Paul, I'm not a Logan Paul fan, but I am still amazed at how good of a wrestler he is.
Oh, he actually wrestles there?
Yeah, Logan Paul. So not Jake Paul. Jake Paul does the boxing,
right.
which so does Logan Paul. But Logan Paul is a phenom. I mean, if he just wanted to be like a great pro wrestler, he could be that.
Dang.
It's just amazing what he can do for how little of experience that he has. So
you think he's got a big career ahead of him?
yeah, he's been in main eventing already. He's won the United States title. But yeah, he's looking good. So, all right, Greg, let's bounce over to you with your story of the day or for the show that we got today. What you got over there?
All right. Have you ever lost anything, Pastor?
I sure have. My keys specifically. And my wallet time to time. That's the scariest. Keys is like, okay, I got extras of those. But
Yeah, I remember one time I actually didn't lose my keys, but this back when I was in my Army days. I was on post, and they had a little auto shop right close to where my barracks was at. So you can go there and I was changing my oil, so I got down there and went down to the AutoZone where it was, and so I ended up had my car up on the stilts, had all the oil drained out, took the filter out. I got the new filter out, but it was somebody had put the wrong filter in the box. So I'm like, oh man, I can't. So I'm like, I got my keys. So I had to call my ex-mother-in-law, like drive 20 miles to go.
Oh no!
It's like I need to get down so I can go and get a oil filter. So because my car's like way up on the stilts, I can't do anything with it. It's like oh, that was fun. But anyways, this is an interesting one, and this happened in Vancouver, Canada.
okay.
Somebody was out, doing their thing with a GoPro Hero 8 Hero 8. I guess their camera came off their helmet, and of course it went down to the bottom of Davy Jones' locker. And so obviously, if you're in that position, you pretty much know your camera's pretty much gone.
Yeah, it's bye-bye.
You're in the ocean, it goes down like, yep, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
So like 8 months later, this diver was out diving in the same area, and he found this guy's camera at the bottom of the ocean.
On the GoPro. Nice.
Really?
He got it up, took it back in. He had some water intrusion, but he got the SD card. He found out who owned the camera, called the guy, said, "Hey man, I found your GoPro at the bottom of the ocean," and reunited the camera with the owner. That's kind of wild.
Really?
Did he get like Loch Ness Monster video or something cool?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, according to the he did get a video of a crab.
a crab.
Crab came into the camera. That's about it. But that's a kind of interesting story. Like, man, that'd be kind of cool if I ever lost my GoPro out in the ocean and like you thought it was gone forever, and you pretty much went on with your life. And 8 months later, like a guy calls you like, "Hey, got your camera, man."
Yeah.
Hey,
What?
we have that story in Colorado. I lost my cell phone, remember?
Oh yeah.
Randomly on the trail, a dude calls me. Like,
I didn't want to embarrass you
That's
on
a
that
long
one.
story,
I didn't want to embarrass you,
Call him
Pastor.
out.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that story.
Oh, that's right. He was leading up to you. Ever
That
lose
was an
anything?
interesting story, man.
No, yeah, the story is what trail was that?
It was the whole Uncolada.
And we were a couple hours from our campsite.
Yeah.
So we go, drive all the way there. We do the ride. We come back. I'm packing up my stuff to go back 4 or 5 hours back to north of Salt Lake. And then all of a sudden I'm like, where's my phone at? Can't find it anywhere. And then what do we figure out? The dude,
Well, you was trying to find your phone. I was like, well, Pastor, I can dial your phone to see
Yes,
maybe
that's
it was
right.
in your pack or something. So I dialed the phone like after about 5 rings and get an answer. Hey, this is Mark. And Pastor's like,
Yeah.
Pastor's like, Mark, what are you doing with my phone? He's like, I found it at the trailhead here.
Yeah.
yeah, finds it at the trail. And then we drive all the way back, get it. It was long day, long night.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Praise God. It was
Yeah.
But you got
Miraculous.
reunited with your phone. That was a good
Praise
story.
God for Mark.
Yep. Thanks,
Yeah.
Mark. Okay. So this one has been driving me crazy. I can't believe how many people haven't seen this story. And I think it's just absolutely crazy. I will, on the video podcast, or in the description, I'll put a link to this video because you got to see it. Mermaid performer gets bit by a huge fish.
Have you seen that?
Did you see this?
That was wild.
Yeah. So this from TMZ.
Yeah.
Mermaid performer Sturgeon wanted to make me part of his world, landed in hospital instead. So the viral mermaid performer, so she's a fake mermaid, was attacked by a fish. Dispelling rumors, she was forced to get back into work after her run-in with a sturgeon, explaining she was
a shark.
Yeah, immediately it was a sturgeon taken to the hospital. But if you watch the video, I can try and play it now in post or whatever, put a link there too. But Maria Zelenia, a 22-year-old Russian performer living in China and working at the Shingabama Primitive Forest Park, just watch the video. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
the sturgeon is like, whoa, comes at her head. And
I
you
wouldn't
can
want to
tell
do that anymore.
She's freaking out and just shoots right back up. And I found another article that said they only offered her $96 for compensation. But, you can see the pictures here. She didn't get beat up too bad. I mean, she's got some, bites here and there, but not too bad. But it looked bad.
I would be tripped out. I'm not getting in there with the sturgeon. No more sturgeon.
You had a tail and everything. Probably looked like dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're taking a little road trip to the Bass Pro Shop as guys in our church in a few weeks. So I'm like, guys, we don't jump in the tank.
Are you gonna dress up like a mermaid and jump in? Or?
Jump in, see what happens.
Now they do have alligators at the
yeah,
Bass
they do.
Bass
Gar
Pro Shop.
too. Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Anyway, any other stories you guys got? Or I do have a little spiritual talk here for us today.
I'm done with stories, but
Let's hit the spiritual.
Yeah. No, I literally was just hustling here, coming back from the hospital, spending some time the other day today with a lady who's 99, going on 100 years old.
whew,
And you sit down with people like that, and we probably, as Americans, we don't always do the best of honoring our elderly. In America, I'd say, like in other countries, like people like that, they're legends, right?
Yeah.
They're like kings and queens.
Well, they'll keep them in the home. Like, you ain't going nowhere else. We're going to take care of you.
Where sometimes we look at old people like, oh, look at these old, frail, we kind of dispose of them sometimes, but
Seems like
in some senses. I could be wrong. But, I'm just hanging out with her, and I've hung out with her before, and she's been a follower of Christ for decades now, and I'm humbled when I hang out with people like that have followed Jesus that long.
Yeah.
And the one thing that still gets me to this day is, and she falls in this category, is she starts talking about the Lord, and she just starts crying, and Jesus is so real to her, and it's just inspiring to be like, man, I want to be faithful like that.
Yep.
And that's an attribute that God's looking for.
well, think about it. All those years of sanctification. I mean, think about it. I mean, we know when we get saved, God goes through the process of sanctifying us. The longer we're on earth, the longer we're believers, the longer our sanctification process goes, the more we become like Jesus. I mean, if you getting saved at 20 years old and you're like 99,
He's been working on you that whole
you've
time.
had like 70-something years of sanctification, man. You at that age, I mean, you're just a treasure trove of wisdom. I mean, like I remember my grandma, man. It's like she passed away when she was 95, and I go visit her in a nursing home, and I mean, you could learn so much.
Yep.
It's like people they should take advantage of the knowledge.
Yes.
That these elderly Christians have. So spend time with them, and learn.
Yep. I want to get a bumper sticker that says "I love old people" because, literally, me and Rachel, we love people who just have stories or that can just let me tell you about, and they tell you about how stuff was, and just learning from them, and it's a completely different perspective than what the world has to offer now. It's something to really cherish, and when I think about my grandma, I hold on to those things, and it would have been I want to know that lady's perspective on it. You know what I mean? Just about loving the Lord for that many years. It's just powerful.
Yeah. There's a bunch of verses on faithfulness. Here's how I'll use this one. Proverbs 28:20. It says, "A faithful man will abound with blessings, but whoever hastens to be rich will not go unpunished." Okay, so that's not the whole context of that particular proverb. But, one thing you see those people that have served Jesus that long is they are blessed. They're blessed spiritually. There's a richness about their life and their faith. It's not necessarily like a, money type thing of this world. Like this lady, she's not poor, but she's not rich either, Dorothy Cowan, but she's blessed, and you see her kids and grandkids are following the Lord, and she's blessed. But, this idea of hastening, what I see as a pastor is a lot of people, they want to be blessed by God, but they want instantaneous blessing. And the blessings of God come through a life of faithfulness. And so you don't get the results of faithfulness in one day, 1 week, 1 month. They come with a lifetime of being faithful. So good. It's like, we want to I want to get blessed, but I want to get blessed fast, really quick. Now. Same thing with again, from a monetary standpoint, how rich and fast, I want to get rich super fast. Like, let me scratch the lotto ticket, that's got to be my quickest way to $1 million. And most most entrepreneurs, rich people, Warren Buffett didn't become what he was overnight. It was that smartness and investing through the course of time that led him to that moment. And all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, like when you're doing gold, gold is a good example. Like, when you're trying to refine gold, you just don't throw it in a pot and 2 seconds later, hey, look at this. It's a process of getting heated and skimming off the junk, reheating it up, skimming off the junk, and a lot, so God's got to do it when we become Christians. Obviously, there's a lot of junk that's got to get skimmed off. Oh yeah. So our faithfulness, in my opinion, our faithfulness is actually improved with trials and tribulations. Yep. Because if you don't have a trial and tribulation, you're not really going to get improved. When you face a trial and tribulation, God is refining you. It's like you see God get you through that, and your faith gets bigger because hey, God did this. So now your faith, you get more faith, and the next time you come to a fork in the road with tribulation, now you're like, okay, God did this before. Yep. And then sometimes you still but then God does it again. Yep. Then now the next time, it's like each time you face it, it's like you're more God and less worry. Yep. It's
peeling off doubt.
You're growing.
Yep. Yeah, I was talking to how do I say this because of confidence? But I was talking to someone the other day that was having some kind of financial job type issues going on, and it was like, but I don't understand. I'm going to church and I'm I'm worshiping and I'm, doing some of these spiritual disciplines, and it's like everything should go well, right? So if I go to church and I do all this Christian stuff, then life should be perfect and should go well all the time, right?
Oh, that's usually when the darkness come out.
Right.
Well,
yeah. It's like,
unfortunately, that's what the prosperity gospel teaches too.
Right.
I'm not saying, I'm saying that there are a lot of people that get this idea that if I become a Christian, that I'm gonna have white picket fences and the breeze, and I'm gonna have all this money. Everything's supposed to go good, but the Bible never promises that. No, the Bible promises that Jesus will be with you. He'll walk with you. You won't go through it alone. The Bible actually promises you persecution.
Exactly.
I mean, you're being promised persecution. You're going to be promised that there's going to be trials, but God promises He'll be with you.
Yep. Yeah.
Through that.
That's when you learn to be faithful when it's not going good. That's when you grow in the tough times and the bad times. You don't grow when it's good. Yep. So anyway, I just love when I get done with the meeting with people like that. I just like, wow, that's so awesome. And I don't want her to die. But I mean, she's 99. Yeah. Going on 100 in July, so she's probably not going to live, forever. None of us are. So you don't want her to die, but at the same token, that is such a weird spot in life for life. We got some other people at our church that in their 90s right now and some physical issues, and you're just like, man, they're serving the Lord, and I just want to honor those people.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I'll confess, when I first got saved, I had that mentality of everything's supposed to go good. Right. And it took me years to kind of realize that, I've been, when I started spiritually maturing, then I realized that, no, that was the wrong mindset, man.
Yeah.
So I'll confess, I had that mentality at first.
I've learned that when I pray for God's will, sometimes God's will He's like, you're going to have to get through these hurdles. Like, if you want me to really work my will in your life, it's not just going to be like, here's this $100 bill. You're going to have to climb through all this stuff, to actually get to it. Not like in a monetary sense, but sometimes His will means some struggles to get us to be where He wants us.
And be honest with you, a lot of times, I also believe that like Pastor said, going through the trial, that's where you really see the faithfulness of God. And it's like when I got saved 5 months before I went to Saudi Arabia. It's like I got saved. We're going to war, and I'm scared, and all this stuff. And then when I get over there, like, man, I was like, God gave me this peace that I couldn't. I mean, dude, I mean, stuff. I mean, I experienced things over in Saudi Arabia that I don't understand. It's like, before I'm going over, I mean, I'm scared. Like I'm scared. Mm-hmm. But when I get over there, dude, I feel like just this peace.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's things that happen over there. I still blows my mind. Like I told the pastor one story. One time I was in the being a private, you get stuck on all these details stuff. Like one of the details, like you got to go stay all night doing this. There's a commander's talk where the brigade commander does this thing, and you're kind of like, there's an internal room in the tent, and there's this little external room where they come in, and you have like a logbook, and if somebody comes in, you see, hey, is this guy able to go into the talk where he can't? So you're kind of like the security guard,
receptionist or something, yeah. And
so I'm sitting out there, and it's like, it's quiet, dude. It's like 10:30 at night. I'm struggling to stay awake. I'm like, oh, coffee. So I have a hard time staying awake, and it was just dead quiet. Like you could hear men there talking, but there was like nobody coming in. And so I'm sitting at 10:30, and this lieutenant walks in. Never saw this dude in my whole entire life. Don't know him from Adam. He walks in, looks at me, he goes, "You must be a Christian." I'm like, "You don't even know me, man." Yeah. He's like, "You got this glow around you, man." I'm like, that just totally freaked me out.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Well, see you later," and walks out. Never saw him again. Huh. And dude, it still blows my mind to this day. I mean, it just blows my mind to this day. Like, I didn't know this guy. Like, how did he know? You know what? Yeah. Was it an angel? You don't know, because the Bible says sometimes,
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It totally blows my mind. But it was,
encouraging.
But it's like you go through that time, and when we was coming back, and it's like guys come up and say, "Dude, you always had a smile on your face. I don't understand this. Mm-hmm. I don't understand him." I say, "Jesus, man.
That's right.
Jesus. That's the only thing I can explain it with."
Yep.
Ain't me. It's Jesus.
Yeah.
Faithfulness is a characteristic that applies to every aspect of your life. It's like some people that I connect with, I want to get paid more money. Okay, well, be faithful. Mm-hmm. I want to get in better shape. Be faithful. It's like, I want to grow spiritually. Be faithful. I'm saying, when you're faithful.
Yep.
And then, I love the aspect of when you dive into the discussion of faithfulness is connected to that is the Bible says, if you're faithful with the little things, you're going to get the big things. So, it's like, start being faithful to God in all the little areas and just grow in those, and you'll get bigger. It's like me being in ministry. This has been something now since I've been in the game. I'll get people that are like, well, I want to be in ministry. And I'm like, I'll go Tucker Carlson on you. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I've discovered Tucker says it all the time. What does that even mean? I want to say to people, like, what does that even mean to you? Like, that means you're on a stage, like in front of people, and you're being cool and influential? Like, no, you need to start being faithful. Being in ministry is like, I don't know, like we just had an event, and I helped set up some chairs. Yeah. Help, take the garbage out and like that kind of stuff. I helped order the food. I said a prayer. I handed out gift cards. Just be faithful.
Yep.
We're not here to be superstars.
Right.
We're following the superstar.
Yep.
The guy is the guy. We don't need any other guys. So Jesus is the main guy. So we're just here to serve and just be faithful. And then he blesses us as we do. So
and be faithful like the guy's like, I want to do all this thing, these big ministries. And like, I want to tell all these people about Jesus, but you don't tell anybody about Jesus where you're at.
Right. Like
if you can't tell one person where you're at about Jesus, why should God think you're going to be able to tell 5,000 people about Jesus?
Exactly. Ouch. Need to be out evangelizing and then work it up from there. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, well, there we go, guys. Another show in the books. So what we discovered, the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Don't swim in aquariums with large fish. Just be faithful, guys. Talk to you next time.